Changes to the childcare system designed to get parents back into work have been announced this morning. Parents on universal credit will be able to claim hundreds of pounds more for childcare costs from the end of next month. The government has confirmed a start date for the scheme, which was set out in the Chancellor's spring budget. The BBC's Greg Mackenzie has the details.
The Department for Work and Pensions will raise the amount parents can claim by nearly 50% on the 28th of June. This means they can get just over £950 for one child and £1,630 for two or more children. They will also be able to receive 85% of their costs back before their next childcare bills are due. But the leading children's charity, Bernardo, says while it welcomes the steps to make childcare more affordable, it wants a review of universal credit to make sure it is fit for purpose.
So, Cheryl Hadland runs Tops Day Nurseries in Salisbury here in Wiltshire, and Cheryl's been giving me her reaction to this news.
So with the first part of that, the universal credit's maximum payments to go up nearly 50%, that's really good news because the payments that they were making before didn't cover typical childcare. So they used to make £646 per month available. Now, that's in comparison with average monthly fees from a nursery of £1,250. So it was nothing like enough to cover somebody that wanted to go back to work full time. So that's really good news. It should enable parents to work for longer hours if they would like to. We have about 1.5 million women in this country can't go back to work because of the cost of childcare. So if this makes a difference, then more women will go back to work or work more hours, which will, of course, mean there's more surge for demand in our day nurseries.
Yeah, so I mean, presumably you're braced for a surge in applications.
Well, we would love to be braced for a surge in applications, and certainly the government wants that. We're expecting a surge in September anyway, because they're going to increase funding for the 3 and 4-year-olds and 2-year-olds, which means that some nurseries will be able to actually take them. Our problem is that we are short-staffed at the moment. And the reason for the short staffing, we believe, is because of underfunding, which means we can't pay our staff anything like what they're worth. To put that in perspective, nursery staff are paid less by about a third than nurses. So we have got people leaving working in nurseries to go and work for the NHS. That's kind of our fundamental block at the moment. It's not that we've got a lack of applications, it's that we've got a lack of staff.
Does more government-funded places then mean good news for you? Will you be able to recruit more and pay more as a result of this increased government funding?
I would love to say yes. It all depends on whether the government funding actually covers the costs of the staff and the buildings that we're using. There's no doubt that nurseries at the moment are not running at a profit. We're running at a loss. We've lost 4,000 this year already. So it's not a question of nurseries are fat cats that, we're saving lots of money. Not at all. But does the funding cover the places? Now, at the moment, it doesn't. The government knows that it doesn't. And that's been the case since 2017. And whereas other people might have had increases of 5%, 10% or whatever, matching inflation, our rise this year has been between 1% and 3%. So it just blatantly doesn't cover the increases that we need to pay for staff, even for minimum wage. So at the moment, nurseries are being pushed into closure.
Cheryl, so if this isn't enough, I mean, is that as stark as it gets? Nurseries are going to close and childcare is going to become more and more limited as an option for parents.
That is the case right now, because in April, we had everything go up, the minimum wage, utilities, rates, everything went up, and our funding did not go up and was already behind. So this is kind of a patch that they decided to put in June. If we can get the funding through in June, that will help not as many nurseries go down between now and September, when they've announced that there will be another increase. It's still only a small increase, apart from for 2-year-olds. And then next year looks really optimistic because they've announced significant increases to pay for 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds. So it's just a question of, can the childcare hang on this year? And my feeling is that this isn't enough nor fast enough, but it will help a little bit.
Cheryl Hadland there, who runs Tops Day Nurseries in Salisbury, with her reaction to the changes to childcare payments from the government.